and
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 178. I'm not 100% better, but I'm better enough that you probably don't even notice that I'm still sick, and I don't know what I have, but it has a grip on me. But anyhow, enough about me. We're gonna say happy birthday to you November 26th babies. I have the book of birthdays in front of me, and we're gonna get to know you. So here we go.
Happy birthday.
November 26 people are determined and free-thinking individualists who are absorbed by their discovery and experimentation and feel compelled to set examples to others. They are prodigiously organized and practical types who manifest great technical expertise when engaged in their work, yet are also blessed with extremely active imaginations. They may thus become fixated on realizing visions that are so unusual or ambitious that those around them sometimes question whether they are actually achievable. These individuals, however, are rarely troubled by feelings of doubt when enthralled to a fascinating challenge. For since they are astute assessors of both their own abilities and the potential chances of success, they envisage no obstacles to their progress beyond those imposed by the closed minds of others. Perfectionists, tenacious and determined, they concentrate their aims to the exclusion of all else. These people will thrive in any career where they can pursue their quest for knowledge and innovation unhindered by outside constraints. Naturally drawn to the possibilities for advancement offered by academic research of all kinds, as well as science and the arts, those born on this day have the potential to make truly outstanding contributions to humanity. Others admired their originality and independent minds, but these very strengths may prohibit November 26 people from maintaining enduring life partnerships in particular. For they often secretly fear that, by committing themselves to another person, their freedom of thought and action may be restricted, a propensity that is even more pronounced in the men born on this day. Despite this caveat, however, they typically make enlivening, loyal, and affectionate friends and family members. Their virtues are focused, determined, visionary. Their vices are commitment phobic, workaholic, obsessive. So happy birthday again, you November 26 babies. If this sounds like you or somebody that you know, as always, let me know in the comments. And let's go ahead and move on to stories.
This comes from Original-Zucchini 102 on Reddit.
I thought I'd share my experience of the paranormal with the time my mother caused our family home to have a spirit. Please bear with me, it's a long story. So my experience with the supernatural starts with the unexpected death of my grandma from my mother's side. When I was in 6th grade, I had to go see my family in Mexico for what has been about 4 years since our last visit. I saw my cousins, uncles, aunts, and other family friends that knew my grandma, and helped my mom and her family out with her old house to eventually be sold to whoever wants it. After my grandma's funeral and our travel from La Mira, Mexico, back to my home, I noticed for the first time ever my mom be stricken with grief. She cried day and night. I would come home from school, and my dad had to take me to my aunt's house that lives close to us to spend the afternoon there, since he didn't want me to see my mom crying and not be her usual self. My mom ended up going through some items of my grandma's that were mainly photos, knickknacks, and clothes that belonged to my grandmother. That's when she saw this book. It had an eye in the middle of a pyramid, and it was all in Spanish. So I really couldn't tell you what the book contents were. My mom revealed to me that the book was about how to get in touch or communicate with people who were deceased. So my mother started to read about how to talk to my grandma. I remember a majority of the time she would burn a candle, say some words, and then she would not say anything. It was 2 nights that she did this with no major response or a knock or murmur to fulfill my mom's wishes. Until the 3rd night. We had, prior to the events, put up pictures of all the people who had died in our family on our wall, with the addition of my grandma's photo, next to a crucifix we have in the living room area. My mom did her ritual. It was 10 at night when we started hearing banging. My dad goes to see what's happening, and then my grandma's photo was found flung from the wall to the middle of our living room and was broken. This obviously scared my mom and dad, as they are superstitious and religious. But my dad chalked it up to maybe it rolled over and our AC was blowing strong air to knock the photo. But if that was the case, then why didn't the other pictures fall over? Plus, these weren't normal small thuds. They were bangs, like something hitting the wall with their fist. My parents fixed the photo of my grandma and reinforced all the pictures with better nails. My mom, still trying to talk to someone, tried to talk to my grandpa. I don't know why she switched up, but my grandpa died exactly 2 years before my grandma, so she wanted to try him next. That same night, we all heard a bang on the wall, and then the sound of glass shattering. It was my grandpa's photo, with the nail still stuck on the wall, and his picture further closer towards the left side of the living room, closer to my parents' bedroom. My mom had had enough and got rid of the book, but the occurrences were far from over. I started to hear my name being called out. I swear it was being called from my mom, even if she was not home. I heard the voice call my name for my dad, but he was sleeping when I went to look for him in his bedroom, so it couldn't have been him. I thought maybe it was just me being a kid and having selective hearing and thinking I'm being called, until my parents left one night for a couples therapy session with the church that lasts from 6 to 11. I was alone at home with no supervision, which was usually when I'd watch movies or play extra hours of video games. When I finished watching X-Men on DVD in my living room, I turned off the lights and proceeded to look at Vines on my iPod. When I had a sudden chill, as if someone's watching me, I heard noises and proceeded to call my parents from our home phone to come back home. Then I saw the chairs move and push me as if to throw me down. Then the swiveling chairs in the kitchen that's close to the living room get knocked over. My mom's voice is tuned out of pure horror of what I'm witnessing, as it's straight out of Poltergeist. Then my name is called. I looked to my left, and there was a spirit. It looked like my grandma, but I've seen so many horror movies to know that it's not my grandma. So I book it and run to my parents' room. Scared shitless, I drop the home phone. It breaks, and I lock the bedroom door. I hear banging coming from the door. After the longest minute ever, it stops. My parents, after 9 minutes pass, finally come home. They don't see anyone, but a large mess, and their child who was scared out of their mind, hyperventilating and crying from the sheer terror of witnessing a literal apparition. I had frightening nightmares that were about me and other versions of myself, chasing me in a forest of gray mist, and they would catch me and do nasty and terrible things to me, which I won't get into because I want to keep this story safe for work. But after these nightmares and events, my uncle, who was a shaman, blessed our house, rubbed eggs on us, and we saw the yolks turn black. Our church priest then came in to bless our home, and never had problems with spirits after. I did find the book years later, but remembering those events, I just burned it. I used it for kindling for a bonfire me and my friends had in 2017. Who could these spirits have been, since I never really got answers after these 14 years? So I really don't know what it is either, but I do know that it is not your grandma or grandpa. And if it is, it's like, I don't know, the worst side of them, which I don't even know if that's a thing. But At first I was thinking it was your grandma and that's who you saw, only because while she might have frightened you, by seeing her, and honestly all this spooky stuff that's happening could seem negative, maybe that's their way of getting in touch with you. What makes me think it's not is the fact that you're having these sick dreams. So, and honestly, I can understand why your mom would want to, we'll say, summon your grandma and then maybe grandpa, because clearly she's very, very heartbroken. But maybe let's just not do rituals. And it's honestly funny because the book that you're describing is like my psychic book. It has a picture of a triangle and an eye. It's not the same book. It's not. But I just thought it was funny because I was like, hey, I have that book. And obviously I don't. I'm not summoning the dead. The most that I do is talk to the dead. And I don't know if that's the same as summoning, because I would say not. I think if your mom were to have just tried to reach out to the dead, as in your grandma, maybe grandpa, like maybe with even a Ouija board, maybe not. I don't know. Now I'm curious. Now I have a question, only because that's where my brain's going. But do you guys feel that a Ouija board is a ritual, or do you just feel like it's a device to use to communicate with spirits? Kind of like an EVP recorder or EMF detector, those type of things. Do you feel like those are all similar? Because I'm kind of feeling like it depends on how you use the Ouija board, right? Maybe? Because at least with the Ouija board, you can say goodbye and hopefully that's the end of it. But I don't know. I am not one for summoning spirits. So that just seems, I don't know, crazy. But your mom's not crazy. She was sad. She found this book. She just genuinely wanted to talk to her parents. And good for her for trying, but son of a bitch. It's so scary. Unfortunately, you had to deal with the repercussions of that. And I really don't think it's your grandma anymore or your grandpa, but I don't know. Maybe the spirit actually was your grandma, and maybe she was there to be like, hey, this is not good. Whatever your mom summoned, it wasn't good. I don't know. I just think this is wild. It almost feels like a little dangerous, but also not at the same time, because it could be a part of, in a sense, maybe witchcraft. Not necessarily like the summoning, but kind of. If you summon certain, oh my God, gods, not gods, but someone help me out with what I'm trying to say. But you could do that in witchcraft. So I guess if you do that wrong, then, you summon something bad. All I know, maybe let's not summon things. Let's just keep the summoning to a minimum. If at all, maybe not. Let's just not do it. No summoning allowed, okay? No summoning allowed. But if any of you guys have any comments for this and know what this is, let me know below. And let's go ahead and move on to the next story.
This comes from neither-coast468 on Reddit.
So my girlfriend and I bought a table within the last month. And ever since then, we have been hearing odd noises and crashing sounds, like something is falling off a shelf all around the house. And the plug to our coffee maker was dead, and the breaker had not tripped. The closet was fully open with baskets on the floor, towels moved, etc. So with all that being said, my girlfriend was going to leave the house this morning. I was at work at the time and went to open the blinds for our cat. And once she did, she saw an orb with green eyes and yellow circles around its eyes in the middle of the dark. She said they were almost glowing eyes. It freaked her out, and she said our cat went running away. Does anyone know what kind of spirit this could be, or what to do about it? We're gonna get rid of our table, so maybe this will stop. Okay, well, at least you're noticing that this stuff happened after you bought the table. So yeah, my guess is there's something attached to the table, and I have no idea what an orb with green and yellow circles around its eyes. I don't know what that is. It sounds very spooky, and it would freak me out too, because that's just such an unusual spirit. Now, my only thought is like maybe it's a spirit that they just have green eyes, and for some reason the yellow circles, I don't know. I can't even make anything up with this one because it's just so bizarre. I mean, quite literally, I've heard of orbs, like blue orbs and white ones. And I think I've even heard of a red one, but an orb that has eyes, and then even more detailed that has green eyes with yellow circles. I have no words. I swear, every time I turn around, there is always some new paranormal story that I've literally never heard of before. And I wish I could give some help, but like, I have no idea what this is. Now, I do appreciate that you're going to get rid of the table. And now I have to know, because the story was posted a month ago, I have to know if you got rid of the table and if the paranormal stuff has stopped. Because clearly what's ever attached to this table does not want you to have it. But if you guys have any ideas as to what this could be, seriously, let me know, because this is not what I've heard of. Let me know in the comments below. And if you have a story like either story today or any paranormal story in general, head on over to my website and submit it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and well, it's an odd world after all. Oddballs, thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave 5 stars or thumbs up on whatever podcast platform you listen on. If you have any comments for this episode, comment below or head over to Instagram and comment on this episode's preview. To submit a story or for more information, go to itsanoddworldafterall.com.